Vicky will
Recording in progress.
Will not be joining us. So we'll go with the 4 that we have.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order, October the 7th, 2025. Can I have a call, or a roll call, please?
Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I don't have all the names here.
You can read off,
Okay,
read off
yeah,
of there.
I could read it
Name
off here.
tags, yes.
Commissioner Briers,
Here.
Commissioner Hall,
Here.
Commissioner McElina,
Here.
Commissioner Richardson,
Here.
and Rixey is out. And Williams, we don't see yet online.
She's out,
She's out. You're right.
She's out.
and Rick Baugh is also out, but they have a quorum, so they're good to go.
So we do have a quorum.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any declarations of conflict?
No, I have none.
Seeing none, hearing none. The certification of compliance with Resolution 2025-01.
I certify that this meeting has been notified properly in compliance with ordinance 2025-1, or resolution, sorry.
Thank you. Has everyone had a chance to look over the agenda?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Okay. Commissioner Briers,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McElina,
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson,
Aye.
Commissioner, that's it.
That's it. Short order.
So like as a general rule.
Everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I get a motion for approval of the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of September 2nd, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
I'm sorry, I was.
Oh, that's
I was
okay.
gonna do something, and who made the motion?
I did.
Bill did.
Who was the second?
I did.
Bart? I came in a close second.
I'm last.
Okay, Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Byers,
Aye.
Commissioner McElina,
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson.
Aye.
Okay. Now, this is part of the meeting where I have public input, and this is limited to items that are not currently on the agenda today. Does anyone have anything they would like to talk about that's not on our agenda? Come up and identify yourself.
As long as it's green.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it
Is
is.
it? Okay.
Dawn McGlasson. I have a issue that I'd like to have put forth to be on the agenda in the future. I've been here several times over blighted properties that are on my street. Been dealing with it for more than 2.5 years, and the particular property at 100 NoGal has been on Village of Ruidoso's radar for 15 years, probably. I've dealt first with Bobby Simpson and communicated back and forth with him and tried to stay updated on the progress, and then with Mr. Martinez after that, and now Alex Koenig is in charge of checking to see if they're coming into compliance. So my question is, how long do you let things go on? You know, if it's been a known issue for so many years, is there ever an end date? And the property at 116 Nogal Place is abandoned, so I'm not quite sure what the ordinances and the rules are on abandoned properties. Stagner has on and off been in charge of maintaining the grass that gets waist high, but it's in the Yates Family Trust. So it's apparently an issue of getting someone to take responsibility for the property and decide to maintain it or tear it down to the ground, I guess, because it's in such disrepair. So I would just like those two issues, those two properties, 100 Nogal and 116 Nogal, to be on agenda to be discussed in the future.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks, Don.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do the quasi judicial public hearing. Alex, what do you have for us?
The item is a request for a variance to encroach 8.49 feet into the 20-foot north front yard setback for the placement of a manufactured mobile home at 115 Palo Alto Drive. This is a corner property, and so therefore it has two front yards, being a west front yard that would abut to Palo Alto Drive, and then a north front yard that abuts Sandstone Drive. They are looking for the variance to allow for the 8.49 feet into the front yard that abuts Sandstone Drive. And then also the applicants are here to present their case and to answer questions that the public may have and that you as the commission may also have. Would also note that we provided you 3 comments that were received from folks that are within the 200-foot notification area.
Okay. Should these be read into the record or merely stating that that's fine?
I'm merely just stating that they have been received, and as you as the chair should note the character of the commentary that they've provided,
Okay.
whether they are in favor, against, or neutral.
All righty. So we have received 4 letters, and all 4 are against the variance. So just to let you know. All right. Who's representing the property owners? Come on up. I'll swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
State his name.
Oh. State your name, please.
Mauro Villalba,
Okay.
115 Palo Alto. We got this trial we've been trying to set up over there, but this being un level ground, it's hard to maneuver. We got a pretty high bank to the south side, and then we got a septic on the east side, and then we got, that's the route to set that mobile home, And we had neighbors, upset, but there's just nuisance because we're on our own property, and we was trying to level that place that we got a permit, by the dealers to fill it up and, widen it, and there was a few rocks fall down the bottom, but we still on our property. But they was complaining, and that's the kind of started, with the neighbors, but, issue, but, we're trying to keep everything in compliance and get everything moving, trying to be good citizens again.
righty. Any questions from anyone else in the public about this, or? Okay.
Don't see anyone online.
All right, so I'm going to close that part, and I'm going to open it up to the commission. Who has questions for Mr. Villalba?
I do. In the pictures that we see, is this a mobile home that is being removed and a new one brought in?
Yes, sir. There was an older home there, but it was too old, and and it was a smaller mobile home, and that's the reason that it was.
So the smaller mobile home met the setbacks.
Yeah, it was actually at the same place. It was at the same spot, and we should move that old mobile home and place this other one. But this one, we built this lot, the flat a little more to the south, and that's when we came into a little, trouble with the neighbors because we was filling it up, and apparently, the neighbor next to us. She wants to conserve her privacy, and since we're sitting up so high, and we wasn't actually trying to be higher, she's trying to level the lot and extend it to the south and a little bit to the south. And she got really, really mad because she said that we was building it up, trying to see what we could fair. Actually, we were just trying to level our lot and, just make a little wider so that the bigger trailer will fit there. But that's it, but the other mobile home was sitting at the same spot. But, they never said nothing because it wasn't older, it was there before, so.
So the new mobile home has not been brought in yet?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
It has?
Yeah.
That's what's in the pictures.
Yeah, that's
That's the pictures.
the new one that they brought in.
That's the new one that I see in the pictures?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
That's what I was asking. I thought that was the old one.
And the trouble.
That doesn't look like a new mobile home.
We notified the village, that we was getting that mobile home out, but then I didn't know that, and we told them that we were bringing another one here, but I guess I needed to get a permit, actually get a permit to sell mobile home, but I had a guy had a permit, like a blocking permit, and pay the taxes and everything, so I thought I was good, with that, but apparently we needed a permit from the village to actually set the home. And we didn't get that, and that's where we got into trouble with the village.
anytime you're changing the footprint of the lot itself. Even though a mobile home was on that space, it was, I guess, smaller, shorter, whichever way it worked out, then that probably conformed to, the lot lines.
Yeah, now I know, but, so now we're just at this little situation, where we're actually out of our limits, on the lot, but, I guess we're still on the easement,
So, I'm still confused. Is this a brand-new 2025 mobile home?
older home that we bought, and we drive,
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
and we still need, to do a lot of work on it, a little bit of siding work and.
So, there wasn't really a hardship until you made one. Yeah. That's what.
So I have a question, I guess, for Alex. Did the applicant come into the office and was he explaining this before permit was issued? So this was already clear, the setbacks and everything was already, I'm sure it was.
Yes, yes, those
Okay.
were brought
Okay.
forward, yes.
Question?
So
Oh, go ahead.
with that being said, I mean, you're clearly in violation. You knew what the rules were and what our setbacks were anyway, especially it being a corner lot. It applies on both sides. So, I mean, you already brought in a lot of fill dirt anyway. Why don't you just bring more fill dirt in and move the trailer further back to the east?
I even tried that, but, being the way it is, our neighbor got a little, she's kind of upset and I wanted to build it, actually bring more material, more fill dirt and, because we got plenty lot to the south side,
Correct.
but, they didn't let us because it was getting too steep and I guess, safe or something they say, but,
So you had already bought this home
yes,
before you
sir.
purchased the property, or you bought the home after you purchased the property?
We had the property for a long time. We had this whole mobile home trying to
So,
build it up and fix it, but it was too far gone. It was
so
really old.
where I'm going with that is if came into the office and you were explaining the setbacks, and you bought the home after you knew the setbacks, then the home was already too big.
Yeah, well, when we decided to move the old mobile home, that's because we found this other newer one, but it was bigger.
Sure.
And I came down to the village and asked for permission, to widen up and work on it, and we did some. And we thought we had enough land, or the plat to put it, but then, the truck and everything needs room, to place the mobile home.
Mm-hmm.
And they even got a little machine to place it up there, because we only have like probably 6 foot to the bank,
Okay. It's permission over forgiveness again.
Question on all of this work that was done, were they licensed contractors with the village?
Actually, I'm a contractor, and I did the filling and compacting.
Are
And,
you licensed with the village of Ruidoso?
I have a permit, I'm a tree guy, that I do a lot of work for the village.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm
But,
asking, do you have a license from the village?
No,
Okay.
well, I have a license to do hazard trees and all that stuff, I pay my taxes and I get a number from Brownsville, from the.
Okay, this is more a question for Alex, just to clarify. One of the last red tag was about the placement permit and the placement of the trailer or the mobile home on the lot. Refresh my memory, does not the placement permit process verify setbacks and all of that sort of things before, and that's the purpose of
It
going
does,
through that?
yes. And so where this came down is, like he was explaining, that they thought they knew what room they had, and then when the trailer was brought to the site, then it was discovered that it did not meet the setbacks. And so that's when we requested for the recertification, to have the surveyor come out and mark that. And so that is the survey that's included in the packet today that shows that it does not, in fact, meet the required setbacks.
But had they gone through the proper process, that,
So I will also have to admit that this is not, as you also know, because in my recollection, in my short time here, there have been several of these situations where it's come up that a manufactured home is not placed within its setbacks. And so we've got a policy process change that we need to be making internally to be sure that we avoid these things into the future instead, so that we have everything measured out and so, and know where the homes are going to be specifically placed. Yeah.
just another question, Alex, do you have I noticed in your summary, and at least from the emails and written responses. Does this red tag history go back to 2022? Do you know, or is this all just this year, or how long have we been dealing?
It does go back several years, yes.
Okay, so it's several years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we bought the place, it was, they had a collection of all kind of stuff, before. And actually, I cleaned it up, but that one, they gave us the first red tag, because the last owner, they had an RV park over there, and they had a lot of debris, like leftover from construction. And so we cleaned it up, but that was our first red tag, actually, for being, had all the stuff around there, but that's the way we bought it, actually. And then we got it cleaned up, and we start working a little bit on that trailer, and that's when we had the second, we had a porch, and they had a floor, but they had apparently they had a lot of pets, and it was pretty smelly. So we actually took all the floor, all the deck down, and we had all the boards around there. That's when we had a second red tag, from the first owner, But we got it all cleaned up and all nice, now. Just try to make it better, better place. And
Okay. Anybody else have any more questions, or?
Well, just one quick comment, I'm a licensed GB98, and I find it unconscionable that, because I know that anybody that's building has a tape measure, and it doesn't take a lot of rocket science to go out and pull a tape and figure out before you move anything, and where the footprint's gonna go, where the thing's gonna sit on a piece of property, and I've been doing this for quite a while, and I don't see an issue. It's not, like I say, it's not rocket science. You probably should have known before you ever tried to put the thing there, whether it would fit or not.
yes, sir.
And when did you start building the pad? You said you had put the pad in. Was that you removed the other mobile home and then built it?
Yes, sir. I moved the old mobile home, and then we start building material. We got the permit to go 3 feet up on the south side, to build it up because it was on a slope.
So did anybody measure the pad after you built it? I think that's what we're having a problem with here. That's why.
Yeah, we had plenty time because we even have we had an old and it's still there, as a proof, an old pole, electric pole, and we came down against the electric pole,
Okay.
That's the corner of the old mobile home, and from there we went south,
I'll entertain a motion.
Yep. I'll leave this to the positive, and we can go from there. Based upon the foregoing findings of fact 54-69, 54-98, 54-124 of the Village Code, I move to grant the requested variance for case PV 2025-178 with the conditions stated in the case report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call, please?
I'm a no.
No worries.
Not a problem.
Nay.
No.
Nay. Sorry.
It's not approved,
Right.
all nays,
What- I didn't hear.
Not approved.
Yeah, not approved.
not approved.
And the reason would be because it didn't meet the requirement of hardship.
Right.
Yeah, it's a self-induced hardship.
Yeah.
So what's the next step? What we need to do, or what?
Alex
We need
will
info.
direct you in that.
I will reach out to you in the next couple of days with the official documentation of the commission's action today, and then we'll talk about what your next options are as well.
So, in other words, that trail needs to be moved or something?
At this point, just leave it where it is, but we'll talk in a moment, and, in the next couple of days as to what, yeah. It will either need to be removed from the property, or the site made so that you can meet the setbacks with the existing, with the trailer that you're looking to put there.
I wish if, she's, we're just trying to make it work, and I didn't think it was, if you guys would look at the place, over there, all the work we did, to.
We
Try to.
understand your position, and our position is we have to go by the rules,
Yes, sir.
and that's all we're bound to go by the rules. And so that's all we can do. We
This,
can't,
this is a thankless position, trust me.
yeah.
Okay? But we have to uphold what the city rules are and the guidelines. And that's to benefit everybody. I mean, there has to be a true hardship here, and in your case, this is really self-induced. You made the hardship on yourself, because you could have put in a mobile home the same size, and everything would have been fine. But you didn't. You moved in something different, and that changed.
Well,
Well,
we're, I'm sorry.
So,
Being, don't, I mean, if we had the money, to buy the proper size, but this, we picked up this mobile home pretty cheap, and we're just trying to do, with whatever we can, to get, because if we had the money, I mean, we can buy a new one, the right size, but, not being to have the money,
you're going to need to take this to Alex and let him figure out basically what the city can do to help you here, okay?
All right. Okay, guys, well, thank you, I appreciate you.
All righty, thank
God
you.
bless you all, guys. Thank you.
So, we have new business.
And if you wish to stick around, you certainly may. It is a public meeting, but if you wish to leave at this point, you may also do that. Like I said, I'll reach out to you in the next 2 days, and we'll let you know what possible options that you have. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, our second item is commission discussion of amending Table 54.53.1, the allowable uses within the Village of Ruidoso, to allow the uses of automobile, boat, motorcycle, or RV sales and rental, and entertainment, recreational, health, and exercise facility outdoor with the approval of a conditional use by the Planning Commission. So in the packet, I provided you a whole bunch of various parts of Chapter 54, and then also other parts of the Village Code regarding noise and nuisances in there. So the reason why I want to have the commission mull this over is staff here at the Village, we've been brought forward a couple opportunities for expansion and or relocation of existing buildings to properties within the Midtown District. The current understanding for both of these proposals is under Chapter 54, they would not be allowed within the C3 district. And so procedural-wise, that puts us at at a standstill from the stand of either we say no outright to these things from a staff level, or we investigate the possibility of amending the village code to allow you as the commission to go through the conditional use process to consider whether these opportunities fit in with the Midtown District for the locations where they are. And so both of these uses, so neither in Chapter 54, neither of these uses have a definition, which is one of those. So first point of discussion is, I guess, if there would be any need to create a definition for either of these uses, whether it's, or if they are self-explanatory enough for you and the commission and I guess the general public to understand what broadly these uses are.
Well, I guess the thing I'd say generally, Alex, as I look at it, the uses you've highlighted are either permitted in C2 or a conditional use in C2. So my general overall question is, both of those uses look like they're more land intensive than Midtown is generally small lots, 0 lot lines. And you look at, like, say, let's just take RV sales. Okay, you could bring an RV in that's bigger than several lots in Midtown. So, I mean, that's the thing that, do you want to change that character of Midtown? Midtown, to me, particularly in C3, is that small business, different shops, different places like that, where C2 is commercial, but for bigger, more intense uses. You know, it's not, and that's, I think, the designation that was originally for that was because the lots are so small in Midtown, there's 0 lot lines. You're looking at either one of those two uses that could be more land intensive.
Right.
And that's the thing that, you know, yeah, if you could go buy 5 lots in Midtown if you had the money and do it and put something in, but yeah, I mean, personally, as I look at things, I'd rather see 5 other small successful businesses in Midtown than a big portion bought up in one business that's, you know, has cars and RVs and that type thing in it from that perspective. And the entertainment one, are there not permits for like entertainment events already in the process of the village for doing that? I guess that's the one I'm having the challenge with.
So the, I'll take your second one first.
Okay.
There is an existing business that is looking to add a new structure that would be entertainment oriented. That would be a separate structure that would have potential for impacts of a nature of outdoor entertainment on that. And so when looking through our code, we did not see anything that led us to very strongly state that as a ancillary accessory use to an existing business, that adding that would be very clearly permissible. And so that's why we're bringing this forward for that consideration.
But isn't it permissible under a permit, like an event permit or a sale?
That, yes, it could be, but that's also one of those pieces that it would be I would say would be a fallback option for us with that. However, we just wanted to at least give the opportunity for the commission to perhaps consider not having to have us go down that path, because it is an investment of money to construct the structure. Yeah.
I think we already saw that, though, when WPS put in a stage and a axe throwing thing.
Quarters,
And
too.
yeah, and quarters as well. Yeah, so I don't know if that's even, I think it's going to be more of a site-specific situation, like when you say 5 lots, I mean, there's no one's ever going to be able to buy 5 lots.
Yeah.
I think the situation is just going to be where, like with Lance, bringing in side-by-sides, it would be rental side-by-side. They'd be in the back there anyway. They're not going to be up front. He's already got that built along Sutter there anyway. So I don't know if there's ever going to be a time where someone's going to be able to buy enough lots to put a RV rental or even a car rental place in there in Midtown. I mean, I say if
Do we
there,
even want them to?
Yeah, that's
No,
the key. It's not so much.
I don't think you want them to, but I mean, but on the other hand, on the flip side of that, are you going to start dictating everything that goes on in Midtown? Because that's kind of what makes Midtown Midtown. It's a diverse situation with diverse shops and everything else. I mean, it's a double-sided deal here.
Yeah, I think it'd be different if you didn't have another area you could do any of that activity. There's other, C2 zoned.
But there's,
That's my whole point. I mean,
coming from a business person standpoint, everyone wants to be in Midtown because the money's in Midtown.
right.
So you'd want to, I wouldn't want to tell someone no if they have the opportunity to make money and create GRT for this village and it be a pleasant business.
Well,
And that's not.
That's the challenge.
Sure,
Not
but
everyone,
do you,
today's pleasant business is
Sure.
tomorrow's loophole.
but at some point then you're telling everyone they can't come in and do their thing.
That's why they have zoning. Certain areas you can do things. Dealt with that all my career. There were certain areas I could not go if I wanted to go.
Well, yeah, no one wants to put a mine in their backyard, but as far as putting a not gonna say a moped rental, I mean, mopeds are not as very as intrusive as a mine is, but.
It's a hook.
So Al, mainly the two businesses that have approached you, is this entertainment-based? I mean, I'm looking through the uses here, automobile, boat, motorcycle, RV sales and rental. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's entertainment. Is that correct?
So one of them is in the business of that they have a vehicle rental that they do, that they are developing a project in Midtown, and they have a separate lot that they also would like to have the back office, I'll say the back office operations at that location, and then to be able to rent their vehicles. We feel that is a part of, it is a existing business that is a relocation there. And then the other is for the entertainment, the outdoor entertainment request, an existing building that's looking to add a structure to their property in their parking lot that would be able to, when they weren't having events, they would be able to park under this as a covered parking type facility, but it would be also operating as an entertainment venue, separate from their main building.
And when we're talking about an entertainment venue, how much seating or whatever they're looking at, how big is it?
I don't recall the specifics on how big that they're looking to do. I guess I would touch back on the mention of that Quarters and WPS had done this. Would put two things forward with that. I don't know when those were done and what the code might have looked like at that point in time. And secondly, what if these were things that were considered by the commission to review as well, and what the staff administration position on those things would have been at that point in time. But like I said, my read of how the code, I believe the code should be administered, it was not clear that these were permissible under the current code.
I would add, like to Bart and Josh's point about, WPS and Quarters. I'd want to know, research that, because they've basically got outdoor entertainment areas.
Yeah,
So
neither one really came before us to,
Yeah, and I don't,
do that.
well, I haven't been here that long, but it's one of those things, if those already exist, they had to have been, I don't think WPS was there before, 88, when the code was enacted? Just understand that, because I think the entertainment one of it is already, I think it's already there as an ancillary use to, if it's going on to an existing building, I would think it's already there and covered, in my opinion, but.
and, I love, Jeeps and all that stuff and all the off-road equipment and Harleys. But when you say cars or autos downtown, I'm thinking about an ROV rental place.
That is exactly what it will be. So the Commissioner Richardson touched exactly on the business that is looking to relocate into Midtown. Yeah.
So, business is kind of complex, and if they were running a sales or rental situation like that out of an office there, but their inventory was down the street somewhere in C2, I got no problem with that. I mean, it's like a real estate office, all their inventory is out amongst the community, but their office is right there on the street. And I don't know.
There is an
if-
ROV place right down there, down there by the.
You see what I'm saying, though? It's like you can,
That's a big
with the
difference, yeah.
virtual tours and one thing and another, I'm not saying that you can't set up an office and sell cars, but your inventory's outside of the C3.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see an exception, and here again, it opens up a can of worms. Like in Josh's situation, his cars are like works of art. And if there were a showroom that would take a car or two, works of art kind of thing like that, I'm kind of, I could see,
Yeah.
because that would be a draw that would really, but to say that you could have cram as many,
Side by sides in 1 square foot.
I just,
So I guess where we're going with this, we need to maybe approve that it comes before us and it's subject to interpretation before the commission. It needs to be.
Correct. That is the
That's where we're
purpose,
headed
that is
for
the purpose
this.
for
Okay.
asking it to be
So
a
that's-
conditional use, so that the commission has the information and that you may decide on a case-by-case basis, property-by-property basis, if that fits in with what the purpose of what Midtown is, and this is C3
So
zoning.
that's where we need to go
And then
head to.
also to be able to, if you decide that, if it meets that first threshold that says, yes,
Come before the
this fits in, then the next threshold is, how do we put conditions upon it and get comfortable with that we are not creating a situation of a loophole that someone comes back in 5-10 years and says, you've now allowed me to, or the zoning on this property allows for me to sell RVs.
Well, I mean, I
from
think
the site, so,
the
yeah.
challenge is that, and if that's the case, going to conditional, particularly, like I said, the definition of the automobiles and all that, and then you get into services and garages, I mean, go back to the 1940s, there were gas stations all up and down the street, but that's not the look we want now, and I don't want somebody to be able to go, oh, well, this is now permissible, I'm gonna bring a gas station, or, so, we've had enough of those come before this committee about
Yes.
shops out in the district that create problems.
Yes.
And those are in areas where they're allowed.
Right.
So that's what I don't want to see, it not so much that it's this particular use, it's what happens beyond that, so.
Well, and like you discussed, two things I'll bring up. So with the helipad situation from last month, in there, it was conditioned that it is associated, it's not just associated with the hospital. If the hospital ceases operations there, the helipad
use
goes
goes.
away. The use of the helipad is specifically restricted to the med-evac, sorts of things. And so similar kinds of deals that you could do with either the automobile or the vehicle, let's just call it a vehicle rental business that perhaps would locate there, and also the entertainment venue. You could also, say that it needs to be in conjunction with either, a particular kind of business. Also talk about the hours that they may be able to have the outdoor entertainment as well, so that you can, again, condition it upon that, to be sure that it does not cause a negative impact upon the community,
that's why
upon
you're
the
looking
district,
for
upon
conditional
surrounding
uses
businesses.
in both
Exactly, so
The approval
conditional
of
use.
this would
yeah.
be, it would go before the commission as a
Sir.
conditional use.
Yes, sir.
That's where we need.
That's where we're going with. These are not asking, I'm not,
We're not doing a
we are
blanket.
not asking for staff approve, for this to be a staff level approval. We are asking for a code amendment that would go through the usual process of amending the code through, if we need to do additional meetings and discussions with, set up a subcommittee of a number of members of the commission to discuss it and to come up with particular language, and we'll talk more in a bit. That would be what, and then bring it back for public hearing, then the council would have to approve that change so that these businesses, if they wish to move forward with these things, or anyone else that would wish to bring something like this would be a commission public hearing process.
So what are the mechanics of actually changing the designation in that table 54-53?
So the mechanics would be, it's a text amendment, and it would go through the process of, we would propose text, you would say, please change this, we would have and then we would set a public hearing for consideration here, and then you would make a recommendation like you did with the building material discussion that's been going on for a bit. You'd make a recommendation to council to either approve it or to not approve it. They would have their public hearing, and it would be
Then
done that way.
after they approved it,
Yes,
then
after that
would
period,
go
yeah.
back
So,
to-
yeah, it would go,
It
then,
would then
then
become
anybody who would be, the businesses that are interested in doing this would then have the ability to make an application for the conditional use. So the questions that I would also have, if you're still open to this, if you feel, so I also provided in the packet, as you see in the use chart, for the automobile, boat, motorcycle, or RV sales and rental, on the far right-hand column, the use standards, there are no specific use standards that are set up to give us, an applicant, and yourselves any, I'll say, guidance and/or restrictions toward saying, at a minimum, you have to at least do these things. So if there are some things that you have in mind that you would like for us to add to add a new section that would have some use standards, the other being the entertainment facility outdoor, that does have some specific use standards, and you'll see that it's on right after the use chart in there. The use shall be screened from any adjacent residential district or lot containing a residential use by a solid wall fence or other measures. Screening must be designed to prevent objects from the activity from passing beyond the property line onto any surrounding property not owned by the operator of the use. And then the use must meet the local ordinances related to lighting, noise, odors, other impacts on adjacent properties. And so that's including section 3831 and 3862, noise and property nuisance. And so that's why those two sections were also included in there for your reference. So would ask again, if you are considering this being a good step forward, if there are any use standards that you would wish to propose, either to amend the one for the outdoor recreation facility or add something specific for the sales or rental, the vehicle sales or rental. In there. And again, this also may be things that if you wish, again, to move forward with this and establish a subcommittee to discuss this and then work on it and bring it back. Because again, whenever we make changes like this, we want to be sure that we do our homework, do our due diligence, and get it as right as we can the first time.
Okay. What, do you guys want to set up a subcommittee? And who wants to be on it?
I think it's necessary. I think we should go at this case by case and not just.
See, that's kind of, I think we're opening up a
can of worms.
big can of worms here by doing this. Now, that's my feeling right off the bat. If it goes case by case, I think we have a better grip on it.
Yes.
I mean, let me give you, for instance, if somebody says they want to do automobile sales, how do we enforce that? how do we know what they're bringing in there? How do they know what they're going to end up doing? Because we all know at this commission, our problem is enforceability.
Always has been.
And that's what, we fall upon every time. So
As a conditional use, I think that's the only way we should approach
that's
this.
kind of what I think.
Don't you? What do you think?
Well,
I mean,
I guess my concern is, what's the threshold for that conditional use? I mean, it's, what are the guidelines? It's,
or interdepartmental before it comes before us?
I'm sorry?
He's talking like, does it,
Well, it's,
Yeah, what triggers it coming to us? if
Right.
It's a conditional use.
and at what point would we approve it or deny it,
we'd have to have some black and white to say
yeah.
this is acceptable or not acceptable.
So if I've not said it enough that you understand, I like for things to be black, white, yes, yes, no, for that. When it comes to giving me discretion, I will be very, very cautious in overusing that. And so if there is a situation where it's like, yes, you fall, and that's why I'm bringing this discussion up. Like I told you, I was not comfortable with what I heard that said, it's very clear that we at a staff level may approve this, or may approve these uses. So why I'm bringing it forward to you, because I don't want to be seen as the one guy in this village who's making big decisions that have great impact upon a lot of people in the overall character of the village. I want that to be something that's brought into for your discussion, your approval, so that it is seen as that we, the staff, are not abusing what has been granted to us, and that so that would be where when someone comes in with a proposal, that they provide it in writing to say, this is what we're proposing to do here, so that we have an understanding as a staff, first of all, what they're doing. And if it's not clear to us, we'll go back to them and say, this is not clear to us, so that we can make that determination. And if it does become clear to us because of what they provided that says you fall in category X, which means, yes, you are able to go forward administratively, or you fall into category Y that says this is something that can be approved by conditional use by the planning commission, or if you fall into situation Z, where we have discussion about, well, we think maybe this is something that either we hadn't thought about, or again, it wasn't necessarily clear to us, that we want to bring it to y'all for your guidance on if it's something that needs to be a text amendment, which is what this case is, in that regard, to say text amendment to either, to say this should be we very strongly felt, because of the way that the Midtown district is written up in the zoning code, and also you mentioned the smaller lots and the things right on top of each other. We want to be sure that this is something that has more eyes put upon it, and more minds given consideration, and allows for the public to have input upon this as well. And so that's why if we're bringing this forward to you, and also to reiterate, again, going a little bit back to the building material kind of thing, I don't want the full power discretion of deciding what is and what's not. Yeah.
So
That's why you have a higher pay grade.
Yes.
Well, like I said.
Benefits to go with that, don't forget.
To like Art's point, when you look at, there's a difference, like, say if it's a automobile or whatever, but having an office, a sales office, and inventory in another area that's C2 or a bigger lot that's not C3, can that be a condition that's placed on the business, where you can have an office there, but you can't have inventory there?
Yes,
I mean,
that is a possible restriction that you could
Or like a
place on there.
Motorcycles.
Or, you would be able to restrict you could very much restrict it to the type of vehicle, the type of activities that would be happening there, also hours, of operation as well, or making sure that if it is necessary to be tied to a bigger operation or that, so that you're not creating a situation, because things get seen as close enough in regard to, so where, kind of like you talked about, that if we were to go down this path to allow for a vehicle rent, a recreational, I shouldn't say RV, but a vehicle rental place, that people would rent a vehicle to enjoy the national forest, the forest area around here. That could easily then someone, if, we're always hopeful that businesses are permitted businesses are successful. But someone could then see that as a foothold to say, oh, well, that's, I can do a auto lube shop in there. That's not what we're looking to do.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why the conditional
use
consideration
allows you
and the conditional uses restrict it to that, so that we are all comfortable with what is allowed and permissible there. Again, we also need to definitely touch upon, we do then start creating situations where we need to be vigilant about enforcement as to what is happening there, and being sure that that people do that. But for me, it's just one of those deals of we need to at least give these business owners the opportunity to make their case before the commission.
Which they have that power anyway right now, do they not? To come before us and,
Not in these two areas.
Not necessarily. I mean, so here's where the way it could happen. Here's how it could happen. But it is we could, at a staff level, give an official denial of what they're proposing to do, and then they could come forward to this board to appeal the administrative decision. But I'll say we sort of jumped to the next level of conclusion to say, you may also, because you were very thorough in your discussions and deliberations of things, you may end up in a situation where you say, we see what you want to do there, but we don't see a mechanism in our code to say yes. And so that's why we are, I guess, I don't know if preemptive is the way to put it, but we're presenting this opportunity for you to say a code amendment is an appropriate thing to do. So yes, to provide that mechanism.
I'm game
to that, yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
I think it's,
I know it's opening a can of worms, but I think
But if
got
it's
so many
conditional,
open
that
anyway.
allows a number of things to happen, because it has to first go to Alex Planning. And that is, it's one of those things where they say, well, you need to they'll come up with a list of conditional uses. We'll get the case presented to us. We'll look at that and go, well, these conditions are adequate, or they're not, or because we've done that in other cases where we've added additional things on to conditions of either variances and that type of stuff. And then it still has to go to council to approve it if it's conditional use, correct? No, it does not.
It does not.
but we do a pretty good
Well,
job
if
making
it
sure
was
that,
denied.
I would say,
Yes,
If it was
denial may
denied,
be
they could go to
considered,
council.
they can
Okay.
appeal that to the council.
Okay.
but we, I think we do okay, Bill, don't you? When we have the proper information and
Well,
we know our parameters,
well,
we make the right decision.
we try.
Not in everyone's eyes, but as far as the code is, we do our part, so.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was just, like I said, if it's conditional and you put a, conditional use in there, that's fine. I don't know how much, what we need to define for, what is it, the use standards for, there are no use standards for the automobile, motorcycle, RV, that type thing, and that's probably something that probably needs to be developed, would be my guess, because when someone comes to Alex with that and go, hey, I got this, I got it, and I want 1,000 motorcycles on a quarter acre lot.
Yeah.
You know, they need, that standard doesn't exist for Alex to say, well, no, you can't do that.
You only have 5 or
Yeah.
whatever.
So,
Yeah.
so I guess that's the question, do we need to work on that verbiage as a subcommittee for,
And that's what I was talking
Yeah.
about, the parameters
Yeah.
as far as,
I mean, maybe that's something.
but I could see in a situation where like if Josh acquired Restore and, because that used to be an old gas station, and to rehab that back into a 50s look and some of the vehicles parked out there, you talk about a draw,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it'd be
Thank you,
covered up
Bart.
with people.
You,
Making a
yeah.
big thing for me to try to achieve. I appreciate that.
You draw from me nervous laughter. You draw from me because when you bring up, because when I drove past your business, and in the parade, I had the thought also of the, I don't know how I would characterize what your business is. In there. So, but if we have to go down that path with you, if you are looking to bring, again, like you're suggesting, a theoretical relocation of your entire
Yeah.
business to the C3 district, we'll talk it through. We'll figure,
Yeah.
we'd figure it out.
Yeah, I would love to be in
in regard to
C3.
how to.
It has to be in a tasteful type
It-
situation.
Yeah,
That's the kind of thing
but
that
yeah,
will
because,
move everybody up and down.
Yes.
in there, because,
And that's-
at one point, I guess the easiest thing, we would just categorize you as you are general retail in there, but,
Pretty much what I am, yeah.
but it does, it gets a little unclear when you have your vehicles, that
Yeah.
are they vehicles?
Sure
From
they
the standard
are.
of vehicles. In there, or as Commissioner Byers brought up, is it art? And does that, make it just general retail? So,
Look at me.
but anyhow, again,
Yeah,
that's
no.
where the,
I think that's where us as commissioners and you as community development are, we have that standard we have to make sure we set and maintain to uphold what we want Midtown to look like and keep looking like. Well, when I said I would hate to run anyone off because they have an idea. That needs to be something we really have to think about and see if it's a good idea. And I think this right here would be good. It would come before us and we could make it
The
a
case in
case by
point
case.
is a reason why we should be willing to look at it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, if you get
We
it.
need new stuff, not just in Midtown, all over town, but and we all know that Midtown's where you make your money. I mean, I make decent money on mine in town, but I would make more money in Midtown, which would prompt me moving to Midtown, but if I was rich. But look at me.
We spend your money easily.
Oh, Susie does a good job of that, don't kid yourself. So,
what do
no,
you need,
I
a
think it's a
motion?
good. What do we need?
so this is just a discussion item. So from the standpoint, if you are willing to, I would say just a general consensus that you are willing to consider this, and then if there is direction to, just for example, if you wish to set up a subcommittee to do that and discuss it, or if you, I'll put that out there, wish for us to come up with a staff level to come back with a proposal for any use-specific standards that we would consider for the automobile, boat, motorcycle, or RV sales and rental in Midtown.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, and also bringing it back up to let Jacob make the decision as far as if he wants to look at it as subcommittee, or whether we can just handle it in a.
So I feel if that is the consensus that you have, we can work on that and bring that back for, I think we can bring you something at the November meeting then.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't want to set up a sub, even though you're a capable vice chair.
Oh, yeah, the elk. Nice bull elk.
Boy, he's easily distracted.
Saying, yeah.
All right, well, speaking
And
of.
you're making a recommendation?
Okay.
Speaking of distractions and looking at all this information you'd sent to me, I know we talked a little bit about this before. One of the things where it talks about property nuisances, which is kind of already in the entertainment end of it, but one of the things I noticed on the property nuisance in section 3862, property nuisance, number 9, graffiti on the exterior of any building, fence, or other structure. that is the responsibility of the property owner to abate that, clean it up, or get subject to, a citation from code enforcement, and they got 10 days to clean it up. The property I'm looking at is the Thunderbird property. I mean,
Yes, sir.
that graffiti has been there. Now, whether it's gang or just kids being kids, I don't know, but it's more about, you talk about Midtown and the.
That is a blight.
And the plywood's still leaning against the wall, then when they wrote them, the
Well,
notice to
and
perform.
here's again,
the windows.
my point being with beginning next year, when we start getting Ironman exterior, you're gonna have a number of international visitors to the Midtown.
Yeah.
And
Recording stopped.
let's face it, that the perception of international visitors when they see graffiti is gangs in a bad area. And you don't want that in the middle of Midtown, so I would encourage,
Even for our citizens, though, I don't need to see that.
yeah, I mean,
No one
it
needs
would,
to see
it's,
that.
it's about like when we did the cleanup with all the flood debris, but that's something that, I did not know there was a mechanism to deal with that till we got this, and I read this, and I said, oh, there is a way to deal with it, so I would encourage,
I will reach out to Mr. Simpson, Bobby, and we'll work together
to get that,
to
yeah.
get that mitigated. And
What's up with Creed?
with the country club.
Yeah.
So our building official and inspector were out there to have a conversation with the owner to be sure that that they had an active permit, but because of lack of action and inspections, it had lapsed, and so they reminded them to keep the permit active, to reactivate the permit, and to be sure that they get inspections done.
Closed up and cleaned up, and that's been that way for well over a year.
Oh, yeah, long
It's just unsightly. It looks bad on our community, and I'm not happy about that. Just not happy.
I would like to touch on the 3862, number 5. Why this village do we not make individual property owners keep their grass mowed? It's in the code right here, 38-62. I mean, it's all over town. Everywhere you look, there's tall grass. And if you're in a larger community, like you and I are from, you get a notice to perform within 10 days or whatever, then they mow the grass for you and you get a bill in the mail. This village doesn't uphold this property nuisance number 5 at all. We have lots of tall grass all over town, and it is a nuisance. A lot of times it's a nuisance where you can't see how to get out on the road. I don't know.
I will also bring that up for internal discussion, because as you touched on there, it is the enforcement mechanism that may be lacking
And we're
in
short
regard
on
to, we would need the financial resource, which may or may not be there, I'll put it that way, to have I will say the financial resource to be able to hire a contractor to go out and do the abatement.
Sure, I'm sure someone stands in line for that.
It probably ends up being in addition to either we hire some people, either we have people on staff to do that, which is typical in larger communities, and then they also have private contractors that would be able to do that, and then being able to collect. So, but yeah, I will definitely bring that up for discussion as well.
The reason I brought that up, Alex, is I'm looking at when you go over here to our, one moment, please.
Granted.
When you go to your lodger's tax, and it's way down this last month compared to of 24. And when you have, I look back and I think, well, I came here as a child in the 70s, and I remember this town being different. And for a guy like me, say I hadn't been here since 1985, and I've been telling my wife and my kids how fantastic the village of Ruidoso is. And you've got to go see it. And I've convinced them, let's have a vacation in Ruidoso. And we show up, and the town is dirty. Now, part of that is because of what we've gone through, but the other part is tall grass and trash in the grass and all that stuff. And his family looks at him and says, "What are you thinking? Why did we come here?" You know, we're not providing him that same opportunity that he had as a child to have those great memories of Ruidoso. We're giving him that lackluster effect of Ruidoso, and at that point, he may not ever come back. He's surely going to have a hard time convincing his family to try it one more time. And he doesn't care if we have 5 people that mow the grass or whatever. He wants a great time for his family. He spent his money to come here. That's why I brought that up. It's just something small, but if we want people to come to Ruidoso and keep coming back, we have to provide them a fantastic experience.
Definitely would agree with that sentiment, with that statement. It's part of also is the and maybe it's not the appropriate, but perception is reality, right?
You betcha.
Yeah, in there, and so and I guess maybe the other whatever saying that comes into my mind is you don't get a second chance to make a first impression.
That's correct. And
Yep,
people
so-
and we have such a negative blip on our radar here as the village of Ruidoso right now at this moment because of all of the negative stuff that's all over social media and the news and everything else. People come here and they expect to see devastation, and we're giving it to them, and I know those wheels turn slow sometimes, but I would love for us to disappoint people if they come here to see devastation.
With that, I will briefly go through and touch on the report from the Community Development Department. As you touched on, I'll go back to the short-term rental program. We have been in limbo for basically last month with transitioning from our new system to the old system. They are finalizing the data checks, and so we do anticipate that we will have hopefully all of the system up and running right now. The one thing that they've not yet developed is an internal inspection piece for us, but we're not going to let that hold us up from getting the public portal, the mapping, the hotline number, the online complaint system going. So we will have that up and going as well. Because of the not having the portal or not having the platform, a lot of our short-term rental folks, as well as traditional lodging facilities, they provide the short-term rental people will provide their information, their lodger's tax remittances through the system. And so because we don't have the system there, we're giving them a hopefully one-time exemption to late fees and such, so when they get that up and going. So that we're anticipating seeing a bump coming up in the coming months when we collect some lodger's tax that may not have been collected. The other part that doesn't show up on this report, but will show up in the one that's going to council next week, is with the Upper Canyon closure for several weeks. That also had an impact upon the short-term rental availability, and so brought that down. From the new system, the new platform, we've been very pleased with what we're seeing from that, with the exception of just the time lag from where we anticipated this going live a couple 3 months ago. But we've learned a lot from where we've been. We hope to not have to be changing systems anytime soon, but if we do, we know what that may how to be better next time. With that, so.
I guess the question, since we've touched on it before, whether it be the grass or the graffiti, are we prepared to deal with belligerent, non-permitted property owners?
From the perspective of, we will be bringing that up to, once we have that number, because the number we're seeing is, from my perspective, perhaps higher than what I anticipated being. So we're not quite sure. They may be counting some traditional lodging facilities, such as the cabins that are owned, the multiple, 6, 8, 10 cabins owned by one company on a single lot. That's not a short-term rental, so, but they do advertise on those platforms. So there may be some of those that come in there. We will be, before we go out to enforce on this, we will be coming before the council for policy guidance as to how we are going to reach out to that, to those folks, as well as, yeah, and as well as, that is a responsibility that the Deckard Technology, that we are going to pay them to do that work as well.
I get that. It's
Yeah.
just when you get to the point of, when you hear certain conversations in public, particularly when I'm not as dressed up as I am today, you learn things that are a little more scary from the standpoint of enforcement. That's why I do it, because there are people out there who are belligerently going to be non-compliant, and you're going to have to deal with it.
Right, right. So, yes, we will then be prepared for, I suppose, we will be fully prepared for the ones that are that will not take advantage of our potential grace period and offering of that to then enforce through the other ways that are allowed under our ordinance, yes. Yep.
Ordinance is pretty clear.
Yep.
We made sure of that.
So as far as the definitions, we'll just put that off to the next meeting and see if we want to set up a commission or whatever.
I will bring forward some additional work when it comes to I will work on finding some definitions for those type of uses so that we are comfortable with what they are, because that also helps all of us to understand what we're talking about, and helps somebody else who might be also considering something like that. And then also to come up with some specific some language around what the use standard might look like for the auto sales rental, RV rental, that the vehicle rental use as well within the Midtown.
I think it's that broad overview of RV rental, blah, blah, that kind of confused us in the beginning.
Yeah, well, and so that's also one of the challenges with creating a zoning code, is how this definitely lumps a bunch of things together that are similar, but definitely when you're talking about, which I can also, again, see why your initial questions, skepticism about RV sales don't make sense in Midtown. But if you have a use category that can be, for example, the little vehicles that the Shriners drove in the parade, theoretically, that could be something that someone would do. Two, and a large RV, that's a broad category.
Maybe we should all get those as commissioners, right?
I think we should.
Ride around in them. What's wrong with you? You're the
Only
guy
if I
who
can get
dressed
the
up for
fez
this
with
deal.
the thing on it.
With a propeller on top.
And then so from the perspective, if you're
So really, we're adding.
greater than 90% of the time your code works, which we're definitely in that realm. It's just and like I also believe, because we have a lot of context, we have a lot of development that's already preset in this community. It's hard to, for those remaining pieces of property or those opportunities that come up, it's hard to really fully deal with those sorts of things somewhat specifically, which is why conditional uses may be appropriate.
Okay, so
We're done? Are we done?
Are you making a
I
motion?
want commissioners'
Second.
comments.
Commissioners, I already gave Alex my comments.